Welcome to WSN News for February 22nd, 2018. Let's see what topics were big news today on WrittenSiNs. And we're getting breaking news that Melissa says, hey, campaign update. We're only 300 from the goal. We're going to explain what Melissa means. We're going to go over that and, at the end of the show when we do This Week in Indie Comics. But that's great news. And hey, Tommy, thanks for tuning in. This is WSN News for February 22nd, 2018. Sorry about the slow begin right there. I was about to sneeze, and I had sneezed before we went on the air. I am Mr. Anderson, the voice of WrittenSiNs, and you're going to notice a lot of this today, possibly. We're the Comic-Con highway, and you guys have seen this if you're in the email chain that we've been updating it. Today was my turn. I did a lot of my stuff. The reason I did my stuff is it gave me an opportunity to play with it because you always know your own stuff the best. So I was playing with the tagging and all that and perfecting it. And I'm going to be announcing, I have not officially announced, but this is my official announcement. I will be going to C2E2. I am a pro at that event. I'm very excited. I'm very honored. I'm very nervous about it. I'm a pro, and that's kind of cool. This is now the second time I've been a pro. I've been invited to 3 shows this year. It's kind of overwhelming and cool. I'm like a little teenage girl. I'm like, ooh, all giddy. But yeah, we did some upgrades. The program itself, where we're moving all the sites onto all the events for creators onto WrittenSiNs, I think will be worth it in the end. It's been a lot of work this week. I've formulated a lot. I think we're doing really good stuff with it. So if you guys have an upcoming appearance, Comic-Con, comic book signing, let us know at WrittenSiNs@yahoo.com. Into the Suck, comic book issue 2, the highly anticipated second issue of Into the Suck, Ursula's found her paycheck, but cashing in is real danger, is the legacy of Keith Thomas continuing to go, doing amazing stuff on Kickstarter. After this one, we're not going to talk about any other Kickstarters until we get to the end of the show. I just wanted to give some love to that because it was very important to me, and I wanted to thank everyone who backed it and listened to me and shared it, so I do appreciate that. The full pictorial, so far, of Dracula the Unearthed Chronicles is now available for you guys to take a sneak peek. Click the link to see more. Boston Metaphysical Society Creators Spotlight, James E. Roche, maybe? I might be saying that wrong. I apologize if I am. This is from Madeline Holling Rosing's Boston Metaphysical Society Kickstarter, where you get all these comic books by pledging to Boston Metaphysical Society for just $6. For just $6, you're going to get now a bonus 12 indie comic book PDF pack. It's insane. It is the best deal in town. It's insanity. It rivals what Josh Dahl was doing. It certainly rivals it. And then Josh Dahl gave it away for free, so hey, there's that. Michael Metlin's Cane. Now, this is mature and violent. That's why we have the M&V in there. We've started to self-police ourselves with content because I have been made aware by a few parents on the Comic-Con highway that there are teenagers who enjoy looking at our site. So I told the parents when they asked me that we would start using this, and here it goes into act. If you see a thread that you think that we should be giving a tag to an M or a V, please let me know. Or if you think there's another appropriate tag, and we'll tag it. Once again, you can reach me on social media at Rob Anderson on Facebook, or send us an email at WrittenSiNs@yahoo.com, and I'll take care of that. This is from Michael Metlin's Cane, by the way. The second book, which looked awesome, and I've been hearing great things about it because it's been reviewed already. We haven't had a public review, but private reviews. He'd asked for some help, and I had teamed up with some people. Came back spectacular. There were a few things that I know he worked on, and this is now coming out now with the improvements that he was passed on. So that was really cool. Get your copy of The Night today. This is, of course, from Guido Martinez. Great guy. Yeah, he is able to get you that book. I believe they're doing it through 2 different places. There's a digital place you can get it, and there's the Indie Comic Planet, of course, which is a great resource. It's teamed up with Kablam, the 2 things. So what they do is they actually print the book and send it out. So the creators don't even have to touch the product and just get the profits. I'm going to wind up putting Fetish Babies 2 Aftermath. That's a big announcement I'm making here for the first time. As soon as I get back in between cons, I have some time off, I will be getting Fetish Babies 2 Aftermath onto Indie Comics Planet. So stay tuned for that. War continues exclusively on Tapas. War is an amazing creation brought to you by one of my friends, someone that I have hung out with, Claude Villas and Vallis, I believe he pronounces his name. I want to get it right, so I'm just going to take a quick look at his name because you know me, I'm not always great with names. So this is he goes by Claude on actual Facebook, but Larnet Vallis, yeah, Vallis, and you guys have seen me. I've tagged him in a couple things. This is on Tapas, of course, and this looks amazing. And I'm giving you guys a quick show of it because you guys aren't checking it out. And this is a little adult. There are certain pages that are and certain that aren't. They are tagged. That's why he doesn't necessarily get an adult. You guys can see over here, there will be some mature scenes. So I like that. He's self-policing it. Not all of it is that mature, honestly. I would say that most of the things you see would not be that bad. It'd probably get a PG, maybe a PG-13. It's not that bad, but it's well written and it's great. So you guys should be checking it out. WSN monthly is surely worth $1, but we found out a way how to get it for free. That's right. There's this amazing new magazine from WSN. It is amazing. There's great content and it shows you things coming. It gives you a sneak peek into stories. It's being sold for $1, but we found a way that you guys can get it, and you can get it by clicking here. Don't tell anyone we told you. Shh. Soon, this will be a Kickstarter. Stay tuned for more. Super Cause Views from Fort Lauderdale. This was an amazing team up. I don't know what the right is. You guys can tell me. If you guys know if this cosplayer, I had no idea how to name the second one. Of course, that's Black Canary. She did an amazing job. Love the hair. But the right, I have no clue. If you guys know who that is, let me know. Let me know. So I can put a tag in. Art of the Day from Epps Art. Amazing Black Panther. And of course, Black Panther is just setting records and blowing things away. It's starting a lot of conversations. Amazing art. We actually had this added to the site before the movie came out, so it's even more popular now than it was before. Mr. Anderson Reviews, a must-read book for creators. How to self-publish comics, now and not just how to create them, the Master Edition. Hey, Mickey Clausen, and we're going to take a quick look at him. Mickey's a great creator. We see it all. We see him all around. I'm going to open this up real quick because he is a great guy, and this is, as I said, some of these throwback threads, a little bit older, but I want to show you his actual credit sheet. And while we're here, I'm going to quickly just go into it, and I'm going to give him something to do. And while we're talking about it, the reason I also want to show you the background of this is I want to show you the tagging process and what we do with creators, so you guys know. And he's an artist here, but we're also going to add him to the 7 Deadly Questions. And this is some of the older ones don't necessarily get this, so as it's been coming up, I like to do it. And this is the tagging system I've been talking to you guys about all year, and how great it is. And Mickey's a great guy. We showcase his art very often, actually, to be honest with you, because he's such a great creator. And you guys have seen him featured on many different things. So, you know, he's a great guy. And this is why you don't see it, because back in the day, this is how long ago we did this particular one. And you guys can see all the different pictures it brings up that we have. Where is Mickey? All right, I might have to finish this on my own, but as you see, there's tagging systems, and I like to show you guys some behind the scenes every so often, just to show you how much we've integrated into the site. And I don't see Mickey's picture for some reason, which is weird because I could have sworn the code on it was 133. Let me just quickly look, and then I promise we'll get back to it. 13227. All right, so it's on me. So we have as you see, we have this amazing now archive of different photos and all that. Just, I think we're up to 25,000 different photos, maybe more. I'm not even kidding. We have that much of a library from you guys, and that has been something amazing. And that's why I wanted to take the minute to show you guys behind the scenes stuff. So, because we've been doing a lot of site upgrades, and what happens now is I put in that, and this is running a website too. which I want to give you sometimes during these news programs, because it was a light news day, so I had a few minutes that I could actually add into it, even though we went late today. And now you can see as we go to Mickey, he suddenly got a picture. So that's why sometimes we don't have a picture, is because for some reason it didn't take. Sometimes we've had to remove a picture. We've had some people ask us to remove things that we did a long time ago with them, and they didn't realize it was still on our site. Other people wanted us to update pictures, and sometimes the new picture, there's a corruption in it. We've had that very rarely, but occasionally a photo will corrupt. I have no idea why. And then, of course, the more common thing is that it's older threads that were before the current template that we use, because our site is based on a template, and that template is now using featured images. Back in the day, we didn't use featured images, and we didn't have to do it. So it's just interesting stuff if you're running a website for you guys to learn. It's not all simple, and a lot of people do try and don't realize how much work is in it. Once you figure out your rhythm, though, it's pretty easy. A review of Aftermath from a person who's not vanilla. You guys got to check that one out. I was so like blown away by that. We had a throwback thread from Art of the Day from Howie Noel. Great creator, great man. And of course, visit Kablam for all your printing needs. The indie comic preview had Cat and Mouse, and I think that's it for today. Like I said, there wasn't a lot on this main page because when I edit things, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an insight here. When I edit things, you'll notice that this says February 22nd, 2018. Now, for it to actually go into the place where it's eventually going to go, which will be This Weekend Indie Comics, but more importantly, before it makes it all the way there, it goes to the WrittenSiNs. And I kind of want to just show you guys a tip on this, and that's because I have some extra time today, and I just wanted to go over some things with you. So, and I did this on a show, not last night, but I think the other night when we were first talking about, if you notice the years seem very off, and that has to do with the way that it's stackable. To make it in order, so when you click on it, you'll see my next show is in 2018. It's February 20th. That makes sense. So for this to go where it's supposed to be, so April 6th, so I'd have to look at it. So this actually is March 30th. That's the first day of the show. So what I want to do is I'd want to put it here, but now I've got this in 2014 and this in 2015. So that's kind of problematic because that one's in April, and if I put it in 2015, it'll jump ahead of this. And even if I put it over here, because these are so close to each other in 2014, the 24th jumps ahead because the date goes ahead of the other date. So it's an ascending order, not a descending order. So the newest thread is always on top. So what I'll have to wind up doing is going into the actual category and just editing some years and fitting it in. So if you ever see a year looking wrong, that's probably what we're doing. And there's a lot that goes into everything that goes into WrittenSiNs. And this has been, we're going on 3 years now of creators WrittenSiNs, because last year we celebrated our 2nd year. This is our 3rd year. I signed a lease, which is ironic because that lease has something, and I mentioned this in the pre-show on Facebook Live before we went live on our YouTube, that I had signed my lease. And when I moved down here and got the lease, that's when we launched Creators WrittenSiNs. So we're going into our 3rd year of Creators WrittenSiNs. Of course, there's a deeper history, and we'll be getting into that soon when we celebrate again our anniversary. So I'm excited. I really am excited about talking about that more coming up. But this is our last show of the week, so I don't want to bore you with too much nerd and geek stuff. I'm sure I saw a couple of people already leave. They're like, Rob's nerding out again. Apologies on that. Sometimes I just like to tell you guys, because some people do ask me how I run the site and how I do the certain things I do. And so I'll occasionally go into this, and it'll be a little long-winded. Maybe one day I'll do a real geek nerd thing where I talk about coding in the site and I get some insights from behind the scenes. Promise we're done for today. But you guys can see my new calendars here. So I'm going to be at C2E2, Savannah Comic-Con, Calusin, Awesome Con, Daytona Beach, Three Rivers, MegaCon, Southwest Florida, SuperCons both in Raleigh and in Fort Lauderdale, Tampa Bay, Baltimore Comic-Con, fingers crossed to make it to New York Comic-Con, Southwest Florida Comic-Con. I've already done this year Paradise City, The Jedi represented us in Alabama. I also just did the Valentine's Day signing with Savvy Bunny Creator, and I did PopCon, and I did the Orlando Toy and Comic Show. So these are all the events that are still coming, and we'll eventually talk about the events in the South because that's what this is all gearing towards. And now here's the cool thing. I put it in once, and this is what we've been talking about all week, and we've been updating. So now in the Northeast, everything that was, because the North Carolina, the Three Rivers is there, and you guys can see, and because they're my events, they're going to be this way, which will be weird because then I'm going to have to interact it, and this is how much goes into it. When I add people in the Northeast who make it go, we're going to have to do the same thing. So there's a lot that potentially goes into this, but once you get the rhythm of it, into our third year now, I kind of know how to do these things, and they're not as hard as they sound, but they are mind-blowingly difficult when you first start because you got to figure out a lot of things. So if anyone has any questions about how to do this, please reach out to me. I've been doing it so long that I now understand things that I wish someone would have helped me with. So if you're running a website using WordPress and you have questions, please ask me. I'm done boring you guys with geek stuff. Let's talk about this week in indie comics. I don't know why this is out of order, but we'll start with it on top. This week in indie comics has us with Boston Metaphysical Society, The Scourge of the Mechanical Men, Gainesville Woods, and Tesla in a race for time to save Boston from a mysterious disease that turns human beings into machines. We're just going to have to edit that out. And Daytona is just a little early. We'll get to that soon. Comic-Con, I will be this weekend. This is our last show at WSN News. We'll have some specials throughout the weekend. That'll be brought to you from the Savannah Comic-Con. I'm excited to go there. I'm heading out tomorrow on the road to be there. I know Gene is going to be, who I just saw came into our watching us. Gene is going to be up in, and I'll go over it. You know what? Let's do the exits real quick. Since this is our last show of the week, we'll also do our this weekend's exits. So let's go to that, this weekend's exits. Let's do them all. And then we'll come right back in here. Because I think it's important on the last show of the week, and this is something I'm going to start doing on Thursdays. And just ignore that because this doesn't belong here just yet. We're going to have in Wisconsin, Raymond Hill. And it's funny, I had to get to know all the states doing this. So it's actually helped me know all my 50 states. Who knew I'd learn from my own website? But this is in the Midwest. I even know Midwest, Southwest. Oh, it's crazy. We did 4 categories, and you guys will get used to it over time, and then hopefully it'll help everyone. Hey, Gene. How you feeling today, Gene? Comic-Con Midwest exit, Wisconsin. Raymond Hill is going to be there. Great dude, great co-creator. We haven't worked on anything together. He's just a co-creator who I know, like someone else is a creator. He's not a, what would you call that? Not an affiliate, but a partner in crime or an associate in crime, but an associate creator, something like that. We got to figure that out. So I call people co-creators because they are creators and I know them, but not someone who's actually a quote-unquote co-creator. I'm overthinking it. That might be my fault. So we're going to go back to the list. Comic-Con Highway to your right. This is because originally we were going to go right, left, and split the state down left to right, but we wound up doing it a different way. So this was a prototype. It's from Maryland. This would now be considered in the South. I have no idea why Maryland's in the South. I would have put it in the North, but it didn't make it that way with the 4 corners that we're doing. So this is Maryland. Robert Garr is going to be appearing in the southern exits. Georgia, this guy, Mr. Anderson, is going to be at the first ever Savannah Comic-Con, fresh off of Kickstarter. I'm excited to see it. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Come see me. Come check your boy out in Georgia. Comic-Con Highway in Florida is very busy. I'm actually upset I'm not going to be here. It's so amazing. Pensacola is going to have Jenny and Barry Gregory, who will be at Pensacon. Very amazing creators. They run Kablam. Go talk to them about your printing needs and see who they are as creators. That's very important. They don't just run a printer. They actually make comic books. So they understand comic books like few printers do. And to a shout out to another printer knows it, Dan DeMille and his creative force behind Valiant printers. They know what they're doing. Valiant Comics and Printers, same kind of thing. These are guys that we want to try to support, and I will be having my comic book printed through Valiant because I want to give back to my fellow creators. And Dan DeMille's a great guy. I consider him a friend, and I want to support him because he's always supported me. Speaking of supporting people, Gene Holly and will be doing a panel at the, I believe this is a brand new relisted Comic-Con Revolution. I believe it used to be the Palm Beach Comic-Con, and they changed their name to Revolution. Gene, if you're still watching, is that accurate? You might know because you're doing a panel. And I like Palm Beach. So these are two cons that I wish I was going to. They look amazing. If you're in Florida, you can definitely give it a shot. And Pensacon actually starts tomorrow. I debated leaving tonight, spending some time at Pensacon, but I just didn't want to stretch myself too thin. So it's okay. I believe it's the company out of Canada. Okay, so Revolution. But I do think it was Palm Beach that they used to run Comic-Con. So I haven't seen Palm Beach listed this year, and I'm shaking. That's just my foot. So my back's starting to hurt. I apologize if you guys are seeing a shaky screen. Let me move the thing away from it so I don't knock it so much. And as always, you guys can see the other things going on in the convention scene. This is our WrittenSiNs show, so we were just bringing up the creators that we're going to see there. So remember quickly, Comic-Con Revolution is going to have my boy, Gene Holly, who I can't wait to run into on the Comic-Con Highway this year. And Palm Beach will also have the cosplay therapy. We'll have a panel there too. So two amazing panels to check out. Gene, do you have a table at this one? We'll let Gene answer that. Comic-Con Highway goes through Pensacola with Jenny and Barry Gregory at Pensacon. Check them out. You can see your boy, Mr. Anderson, at the Savannah Comic-Con Year 1. Check me out. And the Comic-Con Highway is going through Maryland with Robert Garr and Milwaukee with Raymond Hill. And Daytona is going to be soon, but we'll talk about that when we get there. If Gene gets back to me, I'll tell you if he has a table. I know there's a delay sometimes on this. Sometimes it's up to about 15 seconds. I don't know why. It goes live at the same time and suddenly starts to get slower. Someone's going to have to explain that to me one day. Oh, no, not this. Gene's got back to me. He says, no, not this time. I'm meant to concentrate in getting interviews and contacts. And I'm not going to be there. I could have been interviewed for Fetish Baby's mentor search. Damn it. Maybe someone will interview me up in Georgia. I can hope. My heart's broken. I wanted to be on Nerd Radio. And I'm serious. I do want to be on Nerd Radio. It's one of the few sites that I actually want to be interviewed by. I get asked a lot, and I try to arrange them as much as I can. Sometimes I don't necessarily advertise the different places that interviews I have. Some of them just aren't following through sometimes, and I don't want to advertise it until it's done. So a lot of people want to do things, they don't follow up well, so I don't ever want to trash anyone. That's why I don't talk about it, but I do want to be on Nerd Radio. If you guys don't know what Nerd Radio is, go Google it and look it up on YouTube and podcasts. And Gene said he'd love to have me on, so I'm eventually going to try to make my way onto Nerd Radio. Maybe I won't talk about Fetish. Maybe I'll talk about my other titles, because we do have Monsters, the second book, coming out soon. So that could be something we can hook up for. We'll talk off camera. WrittenSiNs will have me in attendance, and this is in Daytona, just giving you guys an idea of how we're doing it, all the information that's in all the threads there. And you can find Nerd Radio, NerdNationRadio.com. It's in our chat box on Facebook Live if you want to check it out. We are going to go ahead and call it up just to give you guys a look at it. Here we go. Oh, I spelled something wrong. Yeah, radios with an R-A-D-I-O, not S. I put Nerd Radios. Now you see that my dyslexia is no joke. But look at this site. Another site. Looks amazing. Very supportive of indie comics. They talk about the Royal Rumble. You guys can see the top 5 Tuesdays. So very interesting stuff. Check it out today and see what's going on. And you got here are the top 5 most overrated DC comic stories. Check them out today and see if you agree or disagree. And remember to make comments and like the page on Facebook. We're going to get back into This Week in Indie Comics now. So we went through all the different places that you can stop by. But remember, Wizard World deserves a second look. A lot of people have been debating what Wizard World's going to do. See what the fuss is about by checking out this thread today and see what I thought of the new press release from Wizard World. Last rights we did the other day. Time to check out this video and learn more about the Kickstarters you might not know about before they leave and you miss out on backing them. Back them before they're gone, as we say. Autism awareness. This is what we were talking about at the top of the program. It was $300 within its goal. We're going to give it a quick look. That's amazing news. I'm so happy to hear that. So we're going to go straight to it. So basically the idea is they're going to be building this trailer to, I've been kidding around saying it's the Optimus Prime trailer for the R4A unit, which is a replica of an R2-D2 droid that has been repurposed and renamed R4AU. And you guys can see you get the different patches there. And you guys can see about the patches all there. And I don't know why I hid, oh, because it automatically linked. Here is the way to go to the GoFundMe. I hit the wrong link, of course. So there are 240. That's not bad. So there's almost $300 of the way to the goal. So they only got to get about $1,000. That's not hard. 11 days. Let's make sure that we're getting this funded. Share it on Facebook. Talk about the importance of autism awareness. I'm going to quickly read this to you guys. This campaign will provide us a more safe and efficient way to transport R4AU. R4 is used for autism awareness functions such as conventions, events, parties, and most importantly, autism awareness and education. All contributors will have their name put on the back door of the trailer. That's cool. All businesses contributed will have the option of having their logo on the side of the trailer. Note, minimum is $50 is what we are asking for business. R4 is a lifetime investment, and its durability and safety is our main concern. The trailer design ideas featured below, and this is basically the type of trailer that they're going to want, and then they're going to put a coat over it and put up those amazing things. They've had a lot of outside donations. So basically, if I'm getting what Melissa's saying right, is that even though this says $2,400, they have more money that hasn't gone through the GoFundMe, which is fine. You know, there's no reason that they have to actually go in and put it into the GoFundMe, because that'd be silly, because then the GoFundMe will have to have a cut of it. Unlike Kickstarter, GoFundMe has no, it's not a all or not type situation. So if they raise $1,000 outside of this and all they needed was $1,300 and they get $240 here, then they hit their goal. It's a win. And they don't got to pay GoFundMe if it's private. So keep that in mind. If you want to directly pay them at PayPal, that's definitely an option that they're open to. All right, so fund them. And while you're funding them, make sure that you're getting an R4AU patch to show your support of autism awareness. And autism awareness is about education and acceptance, educating the public about acceptance of special needs children and their value. Most autistic children and adults don't communicate or socialize the way typical individuals do. Autism awareness attempts to break the barrier and help kids connect. They need a voice, and we give them one. They are our future. And remember, it only takes, you know, a little bit of money to show who you are and support these amazing projects. And speaking of supporting amazing projects, did you know it only takes a single dollar to support a Kickstarter? That's right. $1 can show support, attract attention, help fund projects, support indie creators, and help create new worlds. And as a creator, if you want to earn that dollar, you got to set up a perfect Kickstarter, or at least a good Kickstarter, if not a great one. And if you're going to try to find a great Kickstarter, you're going to have find reading material to learn about it. And some of the greatest Kickstarters I've seen have been from Madeline Holling Rising, who created a book called Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, 2nd edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding. Get that book today, and the chances of you getting your Kickstarter funded go up. And that's what's important, because you'll learn the things to do, and more importantly, the things not to do, from someone who's had more experience than most of us. Princess Warriors #1, Cinderella, Snow White, Cinderella, and the Ninja Archer Hyde show up. They're dark elves and cavalry archeries and ninjas. It's also with the appearances by Cowgirl Ninja and Mega Chomp. Ghost Assassin issue #1, supernatural crime suspense comic. I see dead people walking around like regular people, and they are wondering why I killed them. Let's see if this is funded. This might be exciting. We might be actually breaking news, because this went off today. So let's see if it has funded. And it has. Congratulations. 78 backers brought $4,000 into this project. Amazing haul. I wish I could make $4,000 with 78 backers. That's amazing. Congratulations, guys. You guys rock. So we won't have that in the show come next week because they have successfully funded Prospects 2, 1 through 2. The print run looks like it's more than going to fund. This is, of course, about two mad scientists who have fought a 150-year battle within the town of Ridgeville. A 30-year-old slacker must put a stop to them. Check it out today. Poppy and Poe, a new fantastic issue, is packed with news story by Eric Gagaham, the killer cover by Jamie Primack, and more. Into the Suck, of course, we talked about it at the top of the program, is a comic book issue 2 of the highly anticipated second issue of Into the Suck. Ursula found her paycheck, but cashing is a real danger. Ancient Days number 2. This is print copies for the 4-part 8-bit cel-shaded fantasy manga Ancient Days. Boston Metaphysical Society is Madeline Holly Rising's actual Kickstarter. Check it out to see how amazing she does her Kickstarters, and you'll know you want to buy her book, Boston Metaphysical Society, The Scourge of the Mechanical Man, her other series, Gainesville Wood and Tesla in a race for time to save Boston from a mysterious disease that turns human beings into machines. 5 Seconds, Volume 2, What Would You Do If You Could See 5 Seconds in the Future? And how will Jake use his gift when he meets a girl who can hear his thoughts? Impossible Tales of the Last Pit Stop TPB, a comic series that dares to ask, what if Area 51 were in fact a convenience store for aliens? Now collected for all us swells. Crazy 9 graphic novel anthology Crazy 9 is a new drug on the streets requiring the ultimate sacrifice in order to gain the power of the subconscious. Simon Blood, welcome to Simon Blood graphic novel by Gina Carle and Flavia Caracuzzo. Multi-Larceny, a science fiction comic infinitive possibility multi-larceny one-shot comic with science fiction twist, heroes, victims, villains connected in a race against time. A nightmare on Egg Street. Something sinister is hatching in the dreams of local teens in A Nightmare on Egg Street. And Kaiju Gods is a comic anthology of 14 stories, 180 pages, over 40 creators, all original kaiju content. Of course, there's this amazing project you guys haven't backed yet. You're breaking my heart. It's called Mentor Search. It's our third date with the readers. We're starting to get freaky here, people. Everyone's complained that it was a little too tame, some people, and now here it is. It's like Girls Gone Wild. No, it's not. I'm kidding. This is just the next step in the evolution of the story. She winds up going to a fetish club that is an actual real event. It's the Suspension Halloween Party. You guys get to see a little bit what might go on into a fetish club if you guys haven't been, and maybe you'll want to go after this issue. This is issue number 2. Issue number 3 of the Fetish Baby series. You think I'd know I'm the writer. Barbara isn't looking to be saved. She's looking to be taught. Will Bruce say yes to her being a mentor? Can Barb regain her fetishes? Find out on Kickstarter now. And, of course, at the end of the show, this is the end of our week. We'll see you back here for WSN News on Monday. But before we do that, we want to take a minute to tell you how to help the veterans by going to Veterans Wife on Facebook, so you can show your support for veterans today. And we want to take the moment to thank all veterans for their service. We truly do appreciate it. We would like also to give an extra special thank you to the veterans that don't want to be recognized. The silent stoic veterans, for the horrors that they have seen in war, is to them something not to be thanked for. They don't put it out there for the world to know because they are now truly struggling with their own battle now here at home. You are not alone. You are loved and appreciated. You'll always be our heroes, even if you refuse the title. This has been WSN News for the almost last week in February, last full week in February. We'll see you back here next week as we say goodbye to February and tell you all the new indie comic book news. My name is Mr. Anderson. If you have a story for us to cover, send us an email at WrittenSiNs@yahoo.com. We'll see you next week. This weekend, we will have live from Savannah Comic-Con videos featuring. We'll see you in Savannah.